everybody, welcome to episode 36 of the Brownie Knits podcast. I'm your host Gina, aka Brownie Knits. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the podcast, welcome in. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Before I forget, I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to Julie of the Diary of a Yarn Snob podcast. She gave me a mention in one of her episodes, and I totally forgot to say thank you last episode, Julie. We are both Hoosiers. I still live in Indiana, and Julie used to live in Indiana, and now she is in Reno. So go check out her podcast. It's on YouTube as well. So yeah, thanks for that. In this episode, I have a lot of finished objects to show you. Not a lot of work in progress, but a lot of finished. And then this is also the episode where we draw for our first winner of the 2016 Stash Down Knit Along / Crochet Along that we're doing as a year-long event in my Brownie Knits group. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Craftsy, Etsy, Pinterest, Facebook, all those things, and as Brownie Knits. And you can join our Brownie Knits Ravelry group. And then there are threads for each episode there with links and any announcements and show notes. And then there's also all of our discussion threads for our knit-alongs and things like that. So come on in. So my first finished object is this one. So excited about this hat. So a few episodes ago, I talked about this pattern, which is the Passerine hat by Heusser. And it is a for-purchase pattern in Ravelry. And a few episodes ago, I mentioned it in my Knitspiration segment and really wanted to knit this hat. So my hubby had to go to the Denver area for work not long after that. And when he came back, he had these 2 skeins of yarn because he had watched the podcast and noticed that I wanted to make this hat. And he went into Ravelry and figured out what he needed and went to a yarn shop and picked out 2 colors for me and brought them back. So I wanted to knit them up right away. So the gray color is Madelinetosh Tosh sock in the color Tern, T-E-R-N, not U-N, U-R-N, T-E-R-N. And it's so pretty. It just has like little bitty variations here and there. And then the red, which I was so excited about. It's Neighborhood Fiber Company, and it's their sock weight in the color Old Town. I was so excited because you can see the little changes in the red are really slight, but the way they worked out on the birdies is so cute. It looks like the sun is shining on them and just catching different reds. Super happy with it. Love how it turned out. Fits me really well. The pattern calls for you to do the ribbing on a size 2, a US 2, and then the body of the hat on a US 3. I have a small head, a big neck, but a small head. And so I did the whole thing on a 2 to make it just a little bit more snug for me. I kind of literally I measured my head, and it's the same size as my friends' kids and my little nephews. I know their heads don't grow a huge amount after a certain age, but come on. I go to get glasses at the eye doctor, and especially now, I'm a little worried this year because my husband just went in and got new glasses, and all of the styles are getting bigger and bigger. And my head, when I have big glasses on, it's crazy. So when that was in style before, decades ago, I actually bought kids size glasses so that they fit my face. So we'll see how that happens this summer, what happens with the glasses. But anyway, so I was really happy with how it turned out. Yeah, it was really well written. It was really easy to do. I had a bit of a cold when I was doing the charted section, so yeah, but it all worked out. And yeah, so now I have my new little hat to wear, and I have plenty of leftovers. It actually uses the unicorn tails, which is shorter in yardage than I had 2 full-size yarn rolls for that. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my leftovers. I don't know, maybe I'll make house socks where I'm not too hard on my socks. So maybe it wouldn't matter that there's just merino, but I don't know, I kind of hate to hide that in a shoe too. Or not a shoe, but slippers. Okay, so that was the first finished item. Okay, now time for finished object number 2. That is this shawl. This is the Faberge shawl. The pattern is a 4-purchase pattern in Ravelry, and the designer is Laura Aylor. This shawl, I just love how it turned out. I came across the pattern and the yarn both at the Dragonfly Fibers booth at Rhinebeck in October, and they had this knitted up in a teal and a red. And so I grabbed their Pixie base weight. In the teal that I used is Mermaid, and the red that I used is Dragonberry. And then I came home and I had these red beads that I've had in my stash for, I don't know, probably 8 years. I used to work at a yarn shop as a teacher and on retail on the floor. And I have tons of stuff that I bought then at my discount, which I miss dearly. But anyway, so I had those beads, and I ended up going with beads on the, like the woven section here. So I think it turned out really well. Trying to make sure you can see how beautiful the red is. It has a little bit of change in it here and there. I just really, really love it. It turned out so well. So it actually starts at the bottom and goes up. And so your longest rows are when you first start, when you're raring to go, and then you get shorter as you go, which I actually really liked because we all know, like, when you first start a project, you're just so excited to cast on a new project and start something new. And then sometimes by the end of it, you just are ready to be done so you can start the next one, right? So this I really liked because it did get shorter as you went. It comes in 2 sizes in the pattern. There's a small like kerchief size, and then there's a large shawl size. I made the large shawl size. My gauge was a little bit tighter than it called for, so it came out not quite as big. So I'm somewhere between the 2 sizes that are in the pattern. However, I did use a size 6 and then a size 5. So 6 down in here where it said 2, and then a 5 up here. It's just that I was tighter than their gauge gave. It was a shawl, so I didn't really worry too much about it. And yeah, I love it. I wanted to briefly tell you with the beads, I do my beadwork. I have this little Susan Bates US 9 teeny tiny hook, that you would use for like really like fillet crochet and really delicate work. And I use that, so I pull up the yarn, the stitch that I'm going to do. I have a little bead on here, and then I pull the yarn from the stitch through the bead, place the stitch back on my needle, and then knit it. So that's how I do my beadwork. I prefer that over stringing like a long thing of beads, especially for this project because you didn't use as many beads as you do for some things. So yeah, I was really happy with how this one turned out. And what else can I tell you? Oh, my friend Carol is making the kerchief size because I actually bought this, kitted this together for her for Christmas. So we'll get to see, hopefully she'll share a photo when she's done and we can see the smaller size too. I'll try to get a photo from you, Carol, that I can pop up in one of the future podcasts. This is finished object number 3. If you watched the last episode, you're probably like, why is she showing that again? She showed it last episode. But I didn't show it fully wet blocked, and I didn't show it modeled. So I thought I would show it once again. This is the Across the Pond shawl by Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat podcast. And in this case, I made this small size. Again, it is a paid for pattern, has 2 sizes. Needle size. What needle size did I use? I think I used a US 5. And the yarn at the top is Dream in Color in their Smooshy color base, and the color is Magic Orchid. And then the bottom is Haute Knits merino sock tweed, and I think the color is Meet Me at the Ballet. You can you see like it has a little bit of pink here and there, and then it has the black flecks here and there. So I love how this little shawl turned out, and just wanted to share how it looked when it was fully blocked. So, because I had a few of you asking that question, so there you go. Really well worth it. Actually, I thought her patterns were so well written, and she has a new pattern out that is, everybody's buzz about, the Highland Peaks shawl. I'm actually going to knit it on some worsted weight. I think I might make it for a few gifts. So that'll be, in a future episode somewhere down the line. You might see that pop up. All right, next up, see you in a bit. All right, I'm back. Finished object number 4. This one I also showed last time, but again, I hadn't blocked it yet, and I had some people asking, so I thought I'd go ahead and show it again. This is the Half Granny Square shawl, which is a free crochet pattern in Ravelry, and I crocheted it out of Hedgehog fibers in the color Villain. So I followed the pattern. This is why I wanted to show it again. I followed the pattern up in here as written, and then down here I wanted just a little bit of interest on the edging. So I went in and did 8 crochet and then attached it, 8 crochet and then attached it. I skipped chain 1 space each time. And then on the returning rows, I actually did 8 crochet and and attached it into the center of the previous row's 8. And I just really like how that kind of lattice work turned out here, and wanted to share that with you again. So there you go. Fun, right? So finished object number 5 doesn't require me to go anywhere. It's right here. Oh, and before I forget, this shawl across the pond, Faberge, and these socks are all from stash that I had stashed prior to 2016. So they all count for 2016 stash down. Yay! Knitting and crocheting from my stash. Okay, so here are my finished socks. So they're because they're Turtlepurl yarns, turtle toes, striped turtle toes, and the color is OM. And for a long time, for like months, I had 1 sock done. Now I have 2. So, and I knitted up the second sock while I was in Cincinnati visiting my friend Carol. My husband and I went down and stayed the weekend with her and her husband and her sister. Thank you for hosting us. We got a big laugh because usually Carol and I will go to yarn shops, but she's trying to be good, and I am on my yarn buying ban for January and February. So we did not go to a yarn shop. I can't tell you the last time that happened. Who knows? I couldn't even guess. I think both of our husbands were a little shocked. So instead, we got a laugh because they said, "What do you want to do?" And in Cincinnati, they have a store called Jungle Gems, and it's this huge grocery store. They have a lot of your typical American things, but then they have international things. So they have a Great Britain aisle, they have a Japanese aisle, they have just all the different countries around the world they have aisles for. So you can get things there that you just can't find anywhere else in the Midwest. I mean, you could go to Amazon, I guess, and find things, but it's really we have a great time walking up and down the aisles and looking at all the different things. They have a humongous hot sauce area that my husband spent some time in. And then they have I have a red teapot with white polka dots that people comment on when I Instagram a lot. And I got it from there, from Jungle Gems. So if you're in the Cincinnati area and you're looking for those, they actually did still have that one in stock. They also had a really cute white one with multicolored polka dots. That was adorable. So anyway, but I digress. We had a great time, but yeah. So I finished knitting my second sock while I was there. I knit them on US 1s, which is 2.25 millimeter. Have some sock yarn left. I got to figure out what to do with all my sock yarn leftovers. It's getting kind of nuts again. I had really pared it down and now it's, because you know, everything I showed you today is all out of stock weight. So yeah, if you have suggestions, let me know. Okay, I have one other finished item that I want to show you, so I'll be right back. Look who I found. I went to get my other finished object and somebody went in to come in. So this is Kennedy, aka Kiki. She makes an appearance pretty much every episode. Yeah, she looks a lot better this episode from last episode because she got groomed. So when we went to Cincinnati, she went to the little hotel and had a grooming and all that. So she looks a lot better. So one of the other things that I've been working on is not knitting related. I have been editing a bit every day for my husband. He is an author. He has been published for poetry and tech writing. He has, if any of you have a Nook from Barnes & Noble, he literally wrote the book on how to write, how to use it. So the Nook book is from him. But then he also writes mystery novels, some sci-fi, and we're working on getting those published. So we both have backgrounds in the publishing industry, so he's going to do a few self-published titles later this year, and I'm his editor, so I've been working on those. And Kennedy has been helping out, right? You've been helping out. And as we've been doing that, we've been wrapped up in the next finished item that I wanted to show you. Now this is an item that was finished a couple of years ago. Do you want to go back out? Oh, hi. Yeah, you don't need to give me a French kiss. No, it's gross. So a couple of years ago, our winter was really, really bad, and I was actually recovering from a surgery. And so I wanted a project where I could just sit, not move. It would take me a long time and keep my interest. So I found the Groovyghan Afghan pattern on Ravelry. And I purchased vintage worsted, Berroco vintage worsted, and I crocheted up this Groovyghan. And it has all these different sections on it. So it's got some granny square sections. It has these sideways shell area here. So the only one that isn't Berroco vintage is this orange, which I believe is Miss Babs' Yowza What a Skein. So, and then it has these granny square flowers, and then some just, you know, double crocheted to give you a bit of a break, and then the circles and the square motifs, and then it has like a ripple edging. And so let's see if I can show you the glory that it is. It was just so much fun to make, and I'd forgotten about it because I have a lot of crocheted and knitted blankets and afghans in my house, and I'd been using all of those. Well, then the other day we needed to do some washing of our bed quilts and stuff, and so I pulled that one out, and it's so nice and heavy, but I don't swelter. It's mostly acrylic because it's Berroco vintage, so I'm not like, I don't know, sometimes wool really heats me up. And it's just, but it's more importantly, it's so fun to look at. I love how all the colors pop, and it really left me wanting to make another one. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe that's what I'll do. Because, and I'm gonna go into my Knitspiration now, which this time around probably should be called Crochet Inspiration, because both of the things that I am inspired by this time around are crochet patterns. Sometimes I get in a little funk where I'm not so into knitting and I'm a little more into crochet. Do you guys have that happen? So right now, I think that's what's happening. And two of the crochet patterns that I'm really interested in doing right now, the first one is Happypotamus, the Happy Hippo by Heidi Bears. You guys have probably seen these before. They are animals made out of like the African flower motif, crochet motif. So, trying to pull it up on Ravelry so you guys can see it. And I think my husband's on a conference call, so he's using up most of the bandwidth in our house. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's so adorable. Look at that. So cute. So I think I might crochet up one of those. I don't know who or what for. I don't know. I'm not sure. It is a soft weight, a sock weight. So maybe it would be small enough for Kennedy to have as her baby that she could carry around. She loves softies to carry as her babies. You'll tell her to go get her baby and she just will run and get, whatever. So that is the first pattern that I think is just gorgeous. The second one is the Monsoon Stole, which is also a crocheted for purchase pattern in Ravelry. It is by Alia, or Alia, A-L-I-A, Bland, B-L-A-N-D. And I saw this one initially on Instagram because people were making it and putting up different images of their finished stole. And so when I was out visiting with my gram in Pennsylvania last fall, I actually bought a bunch of different purple weight yarns, purple, pinks, maybe even gray, to use to crochet up a Monsoon Stole. So I really think that might be the next thing that goes into a project bag to get started after I finish up some Barbie clothes. So my little niece is going to be turning 5 in April. And she asked if she could have her party, they live in the South, and she asked if she could have her party up here in Indiana, which I thought was so cute. So I think we're gonna try to swing that all during spring break. So that means I'm a month shorter on my time span to make these Barbie clothes. When I was talking to Ella at Christmas, I was talking to her about making Barbie clothes and letting her look around at some of the patterns that were out there, and everything was pink and purple and sparkly and furry and fancy. She likes to talk about fancy clothes. So I had originally planned to make them pretty much all from leftover stash, but I don't have any novelty yarn really, no sparkles and furs. So I might have to sneak out. I might have to violate the February yarn buying ban just to get yarn to make her birthday gifts, but that's okay. I don't really feel like that totally counts against me. And then I do have some leftover pinks, and she also likes like a vibrant blue, so I've got some of those. I can make work on purples, but in order to get the really fancy stuff, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go suck it up and try to find some. Okay, so here's the Monsoon Stole. Isn't it gorgeous? I just thought it was really, really pretty. They look so different depending on what your color combinations are. So I'm hoping my selections turn out well. But yeah, so those are my crochet inspirations this month, replacing Knitspiration. What else do we have? We have a winner. Okay, before I go into announcing who our winner is, we have several giveaways going on. So this month in my group and in Lena Knits' group, Lena Knits has a podcast. Lena's in Finland, in Helsinki, and we teamed up together for February 2016 to host Finish It February. And my socks that you saw, the Ohm socks, are actually one of my Finish It February projects. I have a sweater that I really need to knit on to finish in February. Gotta get that motivation. So the next couple weeks I'm hoping to finish my Macy sweater and to do a bunch of bunch of Barbie clothes. So those are my goals for the next few weeks knitting wise. But anyway, so you can pop up to either group, both groups, and enter your Finish It February items. It needs to be a project that you started prior to January 1st, 2016. and you need to finish it by midnight on February 29th, wherever you are. And then we'll each draw 4 giveaway packages, so you can enter both of our boards. And you can also chatter away on the Finish It February thread in my group, and I'll draw a couple winners for patterns from those chatter threads. So if you win that giveaway, you win several items. Whoops. You win 2 skeins of this sock hop yarn Black Magic Woman, which is so cute. It's hand dyed and hand spun, so it's really lovely yarn. A little bag of Made with Love tags, and these little needle keepers from Clover. So go ahead, pop up there. Got a few weeks left here. Enter the Finish It February thread. You can also tag Finish It February on Ravelry and Instagram, and you can feel free to tag myself, Brownie Knits, and Lena Knits to your photos too, so we can see them as well. The second giveaway that we have going on in the group, I will be drawing for also at the beginning of March, is our little book yarning giveaway about birds. So a good friend of ours, Larry Swayze, is an author, and he just had a new book come out titled 1,000 Falling Crows. It's a mystery novel, and I had him sign the book, and then I paired it together with this Dream in Color classy, or sorry, it's not classy, it's starry. So it's this black with the silver. And so you can win those by going up to our book and yarn giveaway thread on the Brownie Knits Ravelry board and telling me what your favorite bird is. So that's all you have to do. And then I'll draw from there. And that has been a really interesting thread to read because we're all over the world. And so it's been really entertaining to learn about some birds that, you know, I didn't know what they were or had only heard of them in passing. So it's really entertaining if you want to go up and have a read. So that's our second one. And then our third giveaway and knit along / crochet along is our year-long 2016 stash down. So we are knitting and crocheting our way through stash that we stashed prior to January 1st, 2016. So all those yarns you got for Christmas count. You don't have to have your stash loaded up into Ravelry. If you want to do it, great, but you don't have to. We're going on the honor system. You can post you know, patterns you're interested in making. You can chatter, make comments on other people's posts. You can post up works in progress pictures and then finished item pictures. And every other month during the year, I'm going to draw a prize. And so our first prize package is a little lip balm, a little Hiya puppy snip, and 2 skeins of Knit Picks worsted tonal, Swish worsted tonal in the wine tasting colorway. And our winner is number 129, Bead Room. I think it might be Bead Room Jewelry on Instagram, but it's Bead Room in Ravelry. And she posted a lovely photo of her daughter in a hat that she made that was like a sparkly yarn. And it kind of looked like a beret style hat, and it was so adorable on her daughter. Her daughter's beautiful, and she looked so cute in the hat. So congratulations, get in contact with me and give me your information, and I will get that mailed out to you. So don't forget, all you other people and Bead Room, to go ahead and keep entering, because our next giveaway for that will take place in April. And in the next podcast, I'll start showing you what the giveaway package is for April. Yay! All right, I think that's everything. Let me take one quick pass at my notes to make sure. Yeah, that's everything I had down to share today. It's a bit of a different episode because I didn't really have a lot of works in progress, or any really, to show you. But that's okay. That'll come next time. I hope that you guys are having a great time knitting and crocheting. And until next time, happy knitting and crocheting. See you later. Bye-bye.